Today's live stream / watch along. And what I'm doing today is, we've done this before, we just do a watch along. These are videos that I've done previously, and I'm here in the background to answer any questions. And what I had to do was, there was a video that we did 3 or 4 months ago. It was the TANGEM cold storage wallet. And I had to do an update because there was a bunch of changes that they did. One of those being the big one, which was, instead of you actually having to have your seed phrases or your private key embedded into the cards themselves, now you can do the old-fashioned way and write down your seed phrase or your mnemonic phrase on a piece of paper, and they're able to do it both ways. So in this video, I'm going to show you why TANGEM Wallet I think is going to be great. I think it's going to be the big cold storage wallet device for the masses. I'm going to show you how to take off your crypto from exchanges, how to put it onto your cold storage device, how to connect it to a DEX, and everything in between. And after we're done with this video, I actually got one of the lead developers to come here from TANGEM to answer all of your questions. So this video is roughly about 22 minutes or so, but it goes over everything that you possibly need. Remember, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And me personally, I got to tell you, I wish this was out years ago so I wouldn't have lost so much in the different exchanges that I left things on. So without further ado, let's watch this video. You can ask any questions in the chat, and then after the video is done, then we'll do a little Q&A with one of the developers from TANGEM. Without further ado, let's get moving. So here we go. Before I begin, let me make something very clear. This is not a sponsored video. I reached out to TANGEM. I purchased the cold storage device itself, and this was 5 weeks ago, and it just came in the mail looking something like this. Looks very easy to use, right? You got 2 or 3 different cards right here. You have 3 lines of instructions. The question you might be asking is, what's the difference between this cold storage device and say something like a nano ledger? Well, the reason why this took me 5 weeks to get is because they were sold out because of different problems that nano ledger had just weeks ago. You know, the little things that they had been talking about as far as like the updating of the firmware, them splitting up your private keys and putting them in 3 different companies. Now, we all know that you have to sign up for that service, and there's a lot of different details about that. But for me personally, I'd like to have a little diversity in my portfolio as well as my cold storage devices. So the question you might have is, what exactly is it and how easy is it to set up? Well, we're going to do that today. It's only take 2 minutes to set up.
All right, before we move on and talk about TANGEM and everything that goes along with it, this is an updated video. We shot the original video about 3 or 4 months ago. Now we're moving into December of 2023. There's been an upgrade with TANGEM, which everybody's been asking for, which is notably, instead of actually keeping your seed phrases within the 3 cards, now you're able to do it just the regular old-fashioned way, which is to generate a seed phrase and write it down, write your mnemonic phrase down on a piece of paper, or my personal favorite, the stone book, or some kind of metal device. So we're going to talk about that as the video progresses. So let's jump right back.
But here is everything we know about TANGEM. So first of all, you have 6,000 coins and tokens, which are based, and then it is also, the company itself is in Switzerland. What does that look like? Well, it was founded in 2017, headquartered in Zug, with branches in North America, Eastern Europe, and APAC. And just so you know, there was an investment of $15 million by SBI Holdings. SBI Holdings is also the one that is a joint venture partnership with Ripple. And then the leadership itself, or the team behind it, you can see that we got, first of all, A Squared, Andre and Andre, 20 years of experience in tech and management, also fintech industry. BJ and Fernando, 20 and 27 years in finance and management, financial institutions, fintech. Patrick, here's the lawyer, and Juan, 15 years of experience, expert in digital assets. And you'll notice that the tech partners, you'll notice some very similar names you may have heard of, like Visa and Samsung, because all these guys, they've actually worked with the banks for the chip that is within your debit and credit card, and that is the chip and some of the technology that is in right here for your private keys. It also has this highest standards of the chip security, which is EAL6. And EAL6, or EAL, is Evaluation Assurance Level. And it's actually 6+ for other hardware wallets. You can decide what that actually is. It's only at a 5+. So as far as certification, it's a little bit higher. Also, they had an independent firmware audit. This was actually done. Other hardware wallets, it was done by Kudelski Security. I will link that in the description, and they are a pretty powerful auditing service. And they say that things are on the up and up, looking pretty good. So then moving forward, this is the big thing. Security. And it really comes down to private keys. When you activate TANGEM Wallet, because these cards are not activated whatsoever, but when you activate the wallet, The chip in the card generates a random private key which never gets exposed. Neither TANGEM nor anyone else knows your private key. It is therefore impossible to steal it or trick you out of your funds. So you may be wondering, well, how the heck is that possible? This is how it's possible. This is the blog post made by the TANGEM team. I'll link this in the description itself. This is how TANGEM backs up your private keys and creates them. You're going to create a private key. Initially, before the activation process, TANGEM Wallet doesn't have a private key. When you purchase the wallet, you'll receive a package that hasn't been activated yet and doesn't have a private key. During the wallet activation process, the TANGEM chip generates a new private key based on a numerical sequence received from a certified hardware random number generator. During this stage, there is only one instance of the private key. After that, you'll need to create 1 or 2 copies as a backup. And that is why in this device itself, you can get 2 or 3 different cards. And there's a reason for that. And we'll go over that in a second.
So yeah, again, I talked about in the video right there where we said the seed phrases would be within the 3 cards. But again, you now have that function to either put the seed phrases within those 3 cards or to write down your mnemonic phrase on a piece of paper. So let's keep going with the video.
So to finish up, a lot of people are concerned about, well, is it open source or is it not? Well, the app itself is an open source application. It's located at GitHub. I'll again link in the description. The audit was done by Kudelski. These are the different ratings for the stores. This is also where you're going to go with your phone to download the app. And then as far as functionality, it seems pretty simple to use. There's an app on your phone, and then the card, you're going to need a specific type of phone, which most of us already have, and that is an NFC type phone. You know, the ones that can actually swipe and do for cashless payments. Don't worry, a lot of the phones now have that. When you do that, that is pretty much all you need. Also, if you want to use a DEX, it is partnered up with 1inch. So instead of using something like MoonPay, which takes an enormous amount of funds, as far as like 5% for transaction fees, you can use a decentralized exchange and use your card itself or Wallet Connect.
Yes, not to skip over that part, but it's very important as far as like decentralized exchanges. Now we're going to go over how to set up the wallet and everything else, but just to give you a sneak peek about what's going on with DEXs and how they integrate with TANGEM, it's quite simple. So they're integrating with 1inch. There's a link in the description for the website itself, 1inch.io. And when you get there, you want to connect it. Again, we're going to go over this later on as far as like how to set up the actual app itself. But when you go there, whether this be your browser or whether it be your phone, it's going to look pretty much the same way. You're going to click on Launch DApp. And then once you actually launch the DApp, up in the upper right-hand corner, again, if you're on a mobile device, it'll be right in line. It'll say Connect Wallet. You're going to click on Connect Wallet. You say, I've read and accept. Choose a network, whatever you want it to be. We'll stick with Ethereum right now. And then, of course, choose the wallet itself. And then we're looking for Wallet Connect. When we click on Wallet Connect, it's going to have you scan this code. So then again, when you have the TANGEM wallet already downloaded, on the upper right-hand corner, you're going to click on the 3 dots. And it's going to say Wallet Connect. Click on that. It's going to say, oops, no sessions, no open Wallet Connect sessions. You're going to click on the plus in the upper right-hand corner. It's going to open up a camera. And you're going to scan that barcode. It's going to ask you, Wallet Connect, request to start a session. Yes, you can do so. And then now that you're actually connected, you'll see that everything changes a little bit. And it'll say, yes. Now, what do you want to do here? And, of course, you can use a plethora of different cryptos that you have and on different platforms. Because up here it says Ethereum, but you can go down to Optimism, Base, BNB, Polygon, so on and so forth, and whatever you have in your TANGEM wallet. And the reason why I bring that up is because as everything starts to collapse as far as like centralized exchanges, we've seen everything from Mt. Gox to FTX to Voyager to Celsius to BlockFi, and then most recently we've had different issues with Binance and the AML and KYC issues that CZ Binance went through. So the question is, are we going to be using more and more DEXs? I think we are. I think that's why TANGEM is a pretty good choice. So just take a look. There's other ones like Orca, which runs on Solana. And we can just take a look here that these different network fees are far lower than a lot of different fees that you might find on different centralized exchanges. But be careful, because on different platforms and on different bases or different cryptos, the price itself will fluctuate wildly. Look at the network cost on Uniswap. This is on layer 1 Ethereum. It's $22 just to do any kind of swaps. Now, if you use something like a layer 2, like with Polygon, it'll be pennies or fractions of pennies. So just be aware of that. And also, there's other ones like on Cardano, but it'll only cost you 0.12 of an ADA, which right now is around 40 cents. So just be aware that that is open to you. And I think that's going to be the future, is using DEXs to get the things that you want to get to put them into your TANGEM wallet. Now, let's jump back to the actual video.
And then here's the 5 big questions that I was asking, and they answered them thankfully. So the FAQ, What digital assets does it support? 6,000, we already went over that. What are they? Good question. Those are Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB Smart Chain, Beacon Chain, Ripple, Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, C-Chain, Dogecoin, and a host of others. So you can take a look, but it's pretty much everything that you have. Can I pay with my TANGEM card, just like you will with your credit or debit card? You can't do that yet. It's not exactly like a debit card, but it is the functionality coming forward. What it is right now is a cold storage air gap device. What happens if I lose one of my cards? How do I restore access if I lose all my backup cards? TANGEM Wallet is sold as a set of 2 or 3. Now, here's a little pro tip for you, for everybody. I purchased this, and for some reason, I must have hit the wrong thing. There's 2 cards in here. Don't be cheap. Get all 3. Right now, it's very cheap to do. It's only $45, or it's like $55 for 3. So it's not going to crush anybody, which I wish I would have done myself. Additional cards will help you get access to digital assets. The loss of all cards leads to losing your funds. If you only have 1 card left, you can buy a new TANGEM wallet and transfer funds to it. Again, when we do the process, set up the private key. Your private key will be set up in the actual card itself. And then we'll do the other 2 and the other 3 if we have them. If you lose that card, you have a backup. If you lose that second card, you have a 3rd card backup. If you lose that 3rd card, why are you losing so many cards? Before you lose that 3rd card and you know you're losing things, why don't you order another couple? And lastly, if my phone is lost or broken, will I lose access to funds? The phone itself stores neither your assets nor your private keys. It only acts as a display by visualizing blockchain data. It is a TANGEM wallet that stores the private keys, which is why you can access your funds via any other NFC supporting mobile device. And this is my favorite question. Will the card work if TANGEM as a company ceases to exist? And that was actually answered quite brilliantly here. After the apocalypse, how TANGEM wallet will function without TANGEM. So Earth 2047, this is all in jest. I like this. Gamma Cephei aliens have invaded and ruined our planet. No TANGEM servers are involved in the data exchange when you are actually paying for moving around and accumulating crypto on the card itself. So TANGEM is not even a middleman. It just has the card and the app. What to do without the TANGEM app? Let's just say things just go crazy. Indeed, during the interstellar invasion, the risk of aliens taking telepathic control of Apple and Google does exist. The aliens can force them to delete TANGEM app from the App Store and Google Play. They may need it so that the Earthmen can no longer use such a reliable, secure, convenient means of managing crypto as the wallet. But here they will fail. The app is an open source code. If you need to install the TANGEM app on your new Android device and it is no longer available in the app stores, these guys think of everything, just open tangem.com and click on download APK. If not, you can go to the repository as far as GitHub. And the last question you may ask yourself is, well, this sounds pretty good, but what's the price? Well, right now, a Nano X is going to cost you $149. Nano S Plus is going to cost you $79. And the TANGEM wallet itself, like I said, pack of 2 cards is $43.90, and a pack of 3 is $55.90. And on top of that, if you use the link in the description, you're going to receive 10% additional off. Now, this is an affiliate link. If you cannot stand using affiliate links, you can go right to the website, tangem.com, but you won't be able to get that 10% off. So
of course, the prices that we just showed in the previous video were updated as of now because with upgrades comes an upgrade in price, obviously. So again, you have the option now to put your private key in just the 3 cards, which we'll go over, or you can write them down as a mnemonic phrase and keep them that way. And because of that, because of that optionality, now you have 3 card set. We'll go to $62.91. That, of course, is with the 10% discount, or 2 cards, which I don't recommend. Always get 3 cards if you want it. And that's under $50. So again, there's a little bit of a price increase, but in my personal opinion, it's a far cry from Ledger, which is $79, $149, and $228. So that'll take care of that. Let's jump back to the video.
Now what we need to do is break into my phone and actually get this thing rolling. I'm going to show you how it is. Should take about 2 minutes. And voila, here we are. So it's going to ask me to scan the card or order. I've already ordered. So I'm going to click on scan card. It's going to ask me, tap the card as shown above and hold until the end of the operation. So there's 2 cards. Doesn't matter which one you pick. You will probably buy 3, which is a much smarter move. The card is right here. The phone is right here. I'm going to hold this at the back of the phone and just wait for it to go through the whole process. Ready to scan, tap the card as shown above and hold until the end of the operation. And it's done. So that part is done. Now it's going to go through a legal disclaimer, which I'm going to scroll through and read diligently. I'm a speed reader. I'm going to click on accept. Now the next part is going to say create a wallet. Very simple. I'm going to create the actual wallet because we want to keep the wallet or the actual graphical interface in the app itself. Remember, the private keys in the crypto isn't stored in your phone. The private keys is essentially what allows you to spend and move the different crypto, which is on the blockchain. So again, to create the wallet, tap the card, use the same card as you used before, hold it to the back, just like we did it again. Ready to scan, going through the process, done. So there we go. We've got one card actually done. Now it's going to ask us a backup. We need to back this up right now. Again, it's all about not losing your cards, but let's back this up just in case. I'm going to click on add a backup card. Very simple. Ready to scan. This is our second card. I'm going to put this in right here. Done. So then the next part, it's going to finalize the backup. Now we could add another backup card. Unfortunately, I only have 2. I should have got 3. Finalize the backup. Warning, you've added one backup card. When the backup process is finished, you can't add more backup cards. We'll go over that in a second. Click on continue. Create an access code. Very simple. I'm going to press on continue. I'm going to create a code. I'm going to block this out so you don't see it. And voila. Now it's going to ask me, prepare the primary card with number 0308. See these cards right here? This card right here? On the very back, just like every debit card or different credit card that you have, there's going to be numbers. And in very small letters, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's going to be over 12 numbers. At the very bottom, it says 0308. Prepare the primary card number 0308. This is the one. So if you ever get confused, so we're going to scan the primary card, click the button. We're going to, again, go through the process. It's going to be a countdown. I'll cut this out. Great, and we're done. Take the card away. And it's going to say, prepare the backup card with number 0480. This is the one that we have right here, secondary card. There it is. And I'm going to click on scan the card, which is the number 1 backup card. Again, same thing. We're going to scan it. Great, so a couple things. After I got done, it's going to ask me about the Face ID. I actually had a cover on my phone, and for some reason it took 2 or 3 different times. So if you have a cover on your phone, sometimes the transmission gets a little bit jumbled. So you might have to take the backing off like I did. So now it's going to ask me, would you like to use the Face ID? I'm just going to tell you right now, you don't have to. It makes things a hell of a lot easier. So I'm just going to say, allow to use Face ID. Do you want to use Face ID? Yes. And voila. So instead of going, every time you want to go in here, instead of putting in the password, just use your face and then off it goes. Now let's continue the wallet. So you may notice I have nothing in here. So we can manage the tokens. You can add as many as you want to. There's a whole plethora of different tokens out there. Let's start with XRP. You can do a main chain, BNB Smart Chain, Beacon Chain, USD coin, different settings or different platforms. Let's just use them all. Why not? Because who knows what's going to happen on Cardano, maybe some smart chains, Beacon Chain, Dogecoin main, and then of course it's also on Smart if you want to use it. Solana, Polkadot, sure, Polygon, Ethereum, BNB Smart, and Solana, and that's about it. So we'll just click on Save Changes, and it says tap the card as shown above and hold it. It doesn't really matter which one you do, just pick one because they both have the same private keys. Great, and done.
All right, so now we're taking a look at how to use that as far as with the Tangem to use your seed phrases and actually put them in the card itself, which you'll probably recognize this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the new updated version or the Tangem 2.0, and we're going to use that for a mnemonic phrase. So the first thing we're going to have to do is jump into my phone. I'm going to show you how that works. All right, so here we are back in the Tangem app on my phone. You can see that the wallet, we already have 2 cards in one wallet. We want to generate another wallet for these new cards for Tangem 2.0. So very simply in the upper right-hand corner, there's 3 dots. We're going to click on that, and it's going to ask us, show us a bunch of different settings. But what we want to do is we want to add a new wallet. You can add as many wallets as you want to with as many cards that you actually have. So I know some of the guys over at Tangem, they have 4 or 5 different wallets with 4 or 5 different sets of cards. So it's up to you what you want to do. So add a new wallet. And it's going to say the same thing, ready to scan. Tap the card shown above, same thing. We got this card here. Here's our phone. Put it right here. And we are done. And now you can create the wallet, or you can click on other options. For other options, it's going to say use a seed phrase. A seed phrase is a series of words that allows you to recover your wallet, like the key generated, I think we all know about this part. So we're going to generate a seed phrase from that. And I'm going to hide this from you, obviously. And again, make sure that you actually write these down because it's going to ask you to check. And again, make sure you write these down because it's going to ask you to check. Then after that, you're going to click on Create Wallet. And it's going to say, ready to scan. Create the wallet, tap the card, and this will be the same card that we just used. And done. Very fast, very easy. So at this point, we can finalize the backup because we already have our mnemonic phrase, no big deal, right? Or we can add a backup card. That's the whole reason for buying the 3-card set. I'm gonna try to do this, add a backup card, click on that. Same thing, here, there, and scan, done. One backup card added, and then we're gonna do the third one. Why not? Add a backup card. Same thing, ready to scan, and done. So now that we're done with that, we can finalize the backup itself. Jesus Christ. So here again, you create an access code, protect you have to set up, personalize, restore, Xcode, restore with a single card. Great, continue. And then to finalize, it's going to say prepare the primary code number 2840. Of course, on the back of mine, you'll see that, of course, this will be different for you, but there's my card, and you can see the numbers right there, 2840. This is the one. And we're going to click on scan, do it again just to make sure it works. Go through a countdown. Now the same thing, it's going to ask us for backup card number 1, which would be this one. Same deal, scan the card number 1. It'll go through a countdown. And again, if you don't want to do this and you want to put 3 different cards with 3 different mnemonic phrases, you can do that. Just add a new wallet. And last one, 2832, put it at the back of your phone. Great success, continue in my wallet, we'll do that. And of course, here's our wallet. And now we have it there and we have it all written down. I will say, lastly, to get anybody confused, is that all those different mnemonic phrases that I just wrote down, it's great when I have them there and I put them on a piece of paper, but I want to ask you something. Do you trust yourself to not lose it? Do you trust yourself, that piece of paper, to not run or not have any issues? Do you trust yourself to make sure that you can find it? If you can't, here's my recommendation. This is what I recommend for all the different cryptos that I have, especially when I write down mnemonic phrase, which is the Shield Folio. This is the book that I use. I've got 2, actually I've got 3 of these books. And it's great. It's smudge proof, tear resistant, water resistant. It's not fire resistant, but I got a couple. And if it's my life savings or a hefty amount of crypto on there, I want to make sure that it's protected as much as I possibly can. There's a reason why I use different types of cold storage devices. And there's a reason why if I have a mnemonic phrase, I write it down in this book specifically because I've lost quite a bit of crypto doing it the other way around. So that will take care of that piece. The last thing, which is about the app itself, there's been some changes. And you'll notice that on the app, you can see that my second wallet is there with the 3 cards. What happened to my first wallet? Seems like it's gone. But if you just slide to the right or slide to the left, or if you've got 4 or 5 different wallets, like some of the guys at TANGEM do, you'll notice that they're all there. And then one more thing I think is pretty interesting, pretty cool for me, is that on the very bottom, there's managed tokens and organized tokens. If I click on organized tokens, I can group these guys together. So it won't just be like the Ethereum, the ERC20s, and the USD coins, and the Arbitrum and stuff like that. You can just do it in such a way that it just makes things easier to find. Let's apply that, see what it looks like. And yeah, they're all together and they're not just so many else out there. And you can see it's optimistic Ethereum network and they're all underneath. Now, if I go down again, click on organized tokens, let's say that I want to do that by balance. Do that same thing, apply. And then the top one, the top balance will be the very first one. Of course, down it goes. And then lastly, if I want to click on to manage tokens, that was where I will actually be able to add in more different tokens. If I click on the plus, and I can add any different type of network that I want to. And there is a whole host of different ones that TANGEM has. I mean, look at these. This is pretty much, I mean, CASP is on there, which a lot of places don't have, and different ones. So that's just a little quick rundown on what the new app can actually do. And I like it a lot better. Let's jump back.
Now the next question you might have is, well, how can I transfer these things? How can I accept those things? So let's just start with Bitcoin. It's very simple. So with Bitcoin, here is my wallet address. If you want to send me some Bitcoin, go right ahead. I have no problems with that. So you can buy it here. I wonder how the buy, what happens with the buy. This is probably, look at that. You can actually buy crypto with Mercurio, whatever that is. You can use a credit card, but I'm just going to tell you right now, it's probably steep as far as those fees. So good luck with that. So anyhow, if you want to move crypto around, if I want to receive some type of crypto, it's very simple. I'm just going to copy this address. Let's go over to Coinbase. I'll show you how this would work. So I'm in Coinbase, and now here's my Bitcoin. And yes, I move my Bitcoin every single time. So don't have too much on the exchanges. So we're going to click on send. Oh, to that address we just copied. Blah, 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 7M5. It would behoove you to actually go through the whole thing. Let's just double check that. Come on back. Here's the one, the 7M5. Okay, looks pretty good. And I'm going to click on continue. Let's send 25 bucks worth of Bitcoin. We're going to preview that. Take a look at the fees. Network fee, 55 cents. Not too bad. Estimated time about 30 minutes. We'll see how that works out. We're going to click on send now. And then this is something that I cannot stress enough. I would definitely suggest that you use two-factor authentication, not something that sends to your as a text message because there's SIM swaps, but use a Google Authenticator app. So I'm going to go get that from my list of apps, and I'll be right back. All right, 443981. Don't worry about it because every 60 seconds it resets, so you can't use it anyhow. And great. So we sent $25. That's going to take about 30 minutes, and we'll see how that works out. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and we can see that Bitcoin is there and arrived for pretty cheap. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if you're sending $25 or $25 billion. You don't need permission from anybody. You can do it whenever you want to without answering to any single entity, and there's no middleman. So that is the beauty of it all. Try sending, I don't know, over $10,000 from your bank to anywhere else. You're going to get stopped for a bit. So the next question would be, okay, well, I have Bitcoin in this TANGEM wallet. How can I send things back or send things to other people? Same thing. We're going to click on Bitcoin. We're going to click on the send button. And it's going to say, well, okay, what's the address? Well, we're going to need an address, right? Let's go back to Coinbase again real quick. Come over there, and it's going to say receive. Click on receive. Let's get an address. Oh, there it is. I'm going to click on the copy button. Copied. Come back over here. Click on the address. I'm going to paste it. Then GK33, I'm just going to double check that over here. Just make sure GK33, 3CED, 3CED. That looks pretty good. So how much I'm going to send? Well, I've got 0.009. Let me flip that into dollars. It's easy for me. So I can try to send $25. Probably won't work. Actually, not $2,500. $25 because there's always a fee, right? And of course, we exceeded that. So let's just try for $24.50. Go from there. Looks like it's going to be okay. There's going to be a little bit of a fee of 41 cents. Not too bad. We're going to click on send. Face ID. Now, of course, this is the magic of the cards. If someone gets a hold of your phone, they're not going to be able to send off any of your crypto because the crypto doesn't live in the card. The crypto doesn't live in this card or the phone. The crypto is on the blockchain. And the only thing that you really need, or Bitcoin is on the blockchain, the only thing you need to transfer, send, receive is your private key, which is on this card. And what I'm going to do, again, it's going to say ready to scan. Very simply, I'm going to put over here, scan it, done. And that's it. That's essentially all you need to do. Transaction successfully signed, send to the blockchain node. So very simple, very easy to do. And I think this is why I believe this wallet is the future because it makes things so darn easy. So the last question you might ask is, what if I lose my cards? Because in a nano ledger, you write down your mnemonic phrase in a book, and it could be 12 or 24. And of course, when you back it up, you have it right there. However, with these, if you start with one card, you lose the first card. And then if for some reason you lose a second card and you have a third card and you lose that, what happens? You can't get your funds back. So I would definitely suggest, if you're going to get anything, get 3 cards. And when you get down to the second card that you've lost for some reason, I mean, it does happen, let's be honest. When you get down to that last card, you're going to have to order a new set of cards. But remember how we backed everything up and it said you cannot back everything up right now or put on a 4th or 5th or 6th card? This is why. If I lose one card from my backup, can I buy another set and link it to my existing wallet? And it states, since you can only create a backup and clone the private key one time when we're doing the backup itself, you won't be able to link new cards to an existing backup or a wallet. After purchasing a new set, you should transfer your funds to the new wallet. So to make this very simple, all you got to do, when you get down to your last card, you're going to order a new set of cards. And just like what I showed you, as far as like moving your crypto around, you're going to move it someplace else where there's a wallet. You're going to store it there. You're going to go through the whole process again. You're going to upload 3 different cards. You're going to go through that whole process, and then you'll have your 3 cards. You can't buy a 4th or 5th or 6th card and start to back them up. You have to move it when you get down to that 3rd card. That's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Again, there is a link in the description. Give you 10% off, but that's it for today. So thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, so there it is. Before we get to the Q&A, let me ask everybody, there's some construction and things going on outside. Can everybody hear the outside noise, and does it bother you? So I'll wait for that. And then as we're waiting, let me pull in somebody from TANGEM. Mr. Nikita, thanks for coming on.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
You got to watch my video yet again.
Yeah, I did, in fact.
Perfect. So there were some questions. I'm going to see if I can answer them. And then, of course, everybody, this is Nikita. He's from the TANGEM organization. I had him come on in case I got stumped on something, and then he could answer it. So let's take a listen. Let's take a a check off here. Okay. Oh, okay. This was a common one. Real Raid Boss says, I ordered 2 times the Tangem 2.0, and both times they came with broken seals. We talked about this before, actually.
Yeah.
Never Tangem again. So, Nikita, tell us real quick about what happened with the seals and what that all means. Because it looks like it comes in like a box like this, and the seal on the side was broken, I guess.
Yeah. I'm really sorry you encountered such a problem. And yeah, the problem is it's either the customs or a batch at the factory that wasn't properly sealed. So we've handled the situation already, contacted all the responsible people, and took some measures. But in case you're wondering whether there is a risk your crypto is exposed to, well, Tangem provides an end-to-end certification, which means that when you tap the card to your phone, the app authenticates the card, meaning it checks whether the firmware is original and the card comes from Tangem originally. So if somebody has meddled in the system, you'll get a notification from the app that the card is not original, meaning that you're safe. Yeah. If you get such a notification, contact our support, and yeah, we'll handle the situation.
Great. I think I know where this comes from, because in the very early days when we just got like a ledger out, people were buying ledger off of eBay. And when they bought it off of eBay, what people were doing is they were writing down the actual seed phrase, the mnemonic phrase, the private key, and they would create it. They would sell the ledger. People would get the ledger, and then they would just, for some reason, they wouldn't redo the whole seed phrase and mnemonic phrase, and they would just start using it. And then after a couple of days, these hackers or these people, they had the mnemonic phrase, and they would, because people didn't know what it was all about, and then they would reset everything. But see, that's just it. With Tangem, when you get it, you have to go through that process. You have to go through everything.
Rated by the chip when you first tap the card against your phone. So there is no exposure here.
Okay. Well, that's that one. Moving on. This is a good one. How can you sync with tax software to track your transactions? Now, this would be a difficult one. I'm going to have CoinLedger on in a couple of weeks. I can ask them directly. But Nikita, what is that a possibility now to integrate with tax software? That's a tricky one.
Yeah. So currently there is no direct integration, but we added transaction history for Bitcoin and some other chains. You can look them up in the app already. But in the future, we are also, we are always listening to the pleas of our customers, especially those like in Europe and other countries where tax reporting in crypto is an issue. So surely we will come up with a solution that will be comfortable for our users.
Gotcha. And this was a question beforehand that I used to get too, because CoinLedger never had an integration with the Cardano wallets. And the workaround, not really the workaround, but the whole thing came to this was they would, when we took a look at it, we say, okay, you had to buy the Cardano from a centralized exchange. What exchange was that? And they say, oh, that was Binance, or that was Coinbase, that was Kraken. I'd say, okay, you can integrate CoinLedger with that centralized exchange, and it will show how much you purchased. And if you send it back, how much you actually, what the cost basis analysis was, and what your tax implications could be. So if you went through the centralized exchange, you were covered. And then CoinLedger came through and they said, okay, well, now we'll get this for like, we'll integrate the Cardano wallets, and you can have your NFTs and things like that. But it was pretty much minimal. I will say this. If you guys are open to it, I can introduce you to the CoinLedger guys, the tax software people, and then you guys can hash it out if you want to. That's up to you guys.
Sure.
You're like, sure, more work for me. Fantastic. All right. Here's a good question, and I don't know the answer. Rob, do I have to put the Tangem app on my phone, or can I put it on my MacBook? I personally just have it on my phone, so I don't know if you can put it on a computer or not.
Yeah, you'll have to have NFC module to interact with the app. To sign the transaction. And therefore, you need to have a phone. It doesn't work on desktop.
Gotcha. So
Yeah, only like I think you showed in the video that you can interact with dApps on the desktop through Wallet Connect.
right.
Yeah, this is probably the only thing you will need your desktop for.
Yeah, I think people are used to using their computer because I don't like using Ledger Live on my phone. It's very difficult. But on my computer it's tolerable. But I'm telling you guys, once you get Tangem and you start to like just put your card there and then do everything, like I did a lot of different things with Orca, which is a Solana decentralized exchange. Super, super simple to work through. And then also I've done a couple different transactions on 1inch. Again, very simple. I just tap it and I'm gone. I don't have to like log into Ledger Live and then pick up my ledger and then go through all that process and then click these buttons and da da da. It's just it's a much smoother process.
Yeah, you're right.
Real Raid says a Tangem ring with NFC chip inside will be released soon. If anyone's interested, did you guys release it already, or is that on
Well, we are expecting a new batch produced in March. I think we had a test batch produced recently, and a couple of my colleagues presented it at a Cardano summit in Dubai recently.
right?
But yeah, to mass produce it, we need to wait until March.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because there is a lot of testing involved. Yeah, you understand that inside this card there is an antenna that supplies energy to the chip, and the same technology is used in the ring. So yeah, as you imagine, the form factor is different. Therefore, there is a lot of development involved.
Yeah. And so if people you don't know, they're going to make it's a ring that looks just like this actually, but this is a cheap rubber ring from Walmart. And that ring they have, it's going to be able to allow you to do the same thing that the card does. You just tap it on your phone, you ring it right here and you do that. Same thing.
You will be able to send transactions.
Yeah.
To sign them and send to the blockchain using the ring. Yeah, depending on the size of your fingers, you will either have to take it off your finger and sign by tapping against the phone, or like if the NFC is powerful on your phone and the ring is quite big, you will be able to hold your hand.
I guess, like when I thought about it, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Actually, I know now I won't do it, but I think as time goes on, people will look at that and go, maybe they will because they do a lot of transactions. I don't do that many transactions, but everybody, it's up to you. That's what makes the world go around, is different likes and dislikes. Jeremy, hold entire portfolio on these cards or distribute them across various sets of cards or various hardware and card combinations. I think this might be a question or just a statement, but for me personally, like I hold them across different cold storage devices. So Tangem and Ledger and Elipal. And I do that because I like to diversify a little bit. I know I'm a little bit paranoid, but hey, when you got a lot of funds in there, I think it's kind of best to move things around. So yeah, that's absolutely what I have.
Yeah, the best strategy is to diversify. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Yeah, even with one set, I'll never hold the cards at one place. Yeah, you remember that to reset the password, you will need at least 2 cards. Yeah,
right.
Therefore, never keep them in different places. One in a bank vault, one with you, and bury one in your garden, as our CTO says. And yeah, you will be safe. So no one will be able to steal at least 2 at the same time.
That's true. I guess that would lead me to the next question. This is from Banner's Broker. Is there a possibility that scratches on the card will terminate the functionality? How wear resistant is the card itself?
Yeah, the card is very durable. And if you have time, open Tangem channel on YouTube, and there is a video called "A Manual for Destroying Tangem." So what my colleague does there, he exposes it to extreme temperatures, even fire, and then shoots through the card with a rifle.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course, it's important that the bullet doesn't hit the chip. Otherwise, yeah, it will get destroyed. But other than that, the card is practically invincible in reasonable circumstances. Yeah.
I saw one of the videos where they froze it. They froze the card and they chipped off the ice and it used it just fine. And then there was another one where it was in water and it was in there for a couple of days and then it worked just fine. Another one, this was a story that I heard on Twitter because I was talking about the durability, and somebody said that he was a hunter, or he went camping. He was in his camper, and then a fire broke out, a small fire in like a different section of the camper, and his cards were there. And he said two of the cards, he said all three cards melted, but one wasn't as melted as the other two, and it still worked. And he said, lesson learned, never keep all three cards together. And I was like, yeah, you got super lucky, because if all three cards are burnt out, then that's it. Unless you did the mnemonic phrase type of thing.
Absolutely correct. What I can assure you, it will survive boiling water, like if you don't hold it for more than a minute at least.
Right. Got it. And then Sadeep says, I like that Tangem has Caspa. And as everybody saw, I have Caspa on mine. And then Jesper.
So do I.
So do we, yeah. So does a lot of people. Jesper says, Tandem doesn't support MOVR, GLIMR, PLS, and all the other good coins. So nope. There is I want to say there's like 8,000 coins. I'm pretty sure that Tangem doesn't do them all. But I mean, if Tangent doesn't do it, then maybe Elipal or maybe Ledger, but I think it's very difficult. But like I showed in the video, it is a boatload of coins that you can put on there. So you can check it out. Everything that I've ever bought, I can put on Tangem.
Yeah, completely correct. And moreover, I have a piece of news for you. Watch our Twitter and other social media these days. Will announce in the integration of a couple of new and important chains in our winter integration marathon.
That's pretty good. You guys have done a pretty good job of that. Because I know, like with Ledger, it was a slow process. When things were coming, it took a while. But you guys have moved pretty fast. I think you guys have been around since either 2017 or 2018.
2017, the company was founded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the reason you probably didn't hear about us at that time is because we supplied hardware to other companies. So basically, we were B2B in a B2B sector. You probably heard about XUM wallet for XRP. Yeah, so we supplied the hardware for them, and for other companies and chains, we created white label solutions. But then we had after collecting the know-how and technology, improving the technology, we decided why not create a product for end users ourselves. And that was how Tangem, the previous version, appeared in 2021.
Makes sense. And then what's great about you guys, you've never been hacked. So I think you guys are doing a pretty good job. And then LC3 Blink says, mnemonic phrase for life. Let me ask you this quick question. Did you guys change or add on that functionality for the seed phrase, the mnemonic phrase, because of such demand? Or was there another reason for adding it? Because I personally, the only reason I did it was because of the video. But me personally, I just have I have the 2 cards actually. With the private key within the cards. There's no mnemonic phrases for me. But so why did you guys do that anyhow?
We kept an eye on the requests we receive from our community and people who were considering buying Tangem. And it seems that in the crypto world, it was taken as an article of faith that one should have the sheet of paper with the words written on it. Mm-hmm. So we decided to provide such an option, but at the same time we stick to our philosophy, and that is like the mission of the company is to promote mass adoption and eventually onboard 8 billion people of the world in crypto. And for this, you need a simpler solution and a more secure one. Yep, hardware devices are not easily hacked. You will hear about hacks very rarely in comparison to cases of phishing scams and so on, where people are exposed, where people get their seed phrase exposed most of all.
Well,
Yeah, so if
yeah.
you prefer the standard TANGEM backup, like Rob and I personally, then you're like the risk of somebody calling you or writing you and introducing themselves as TANGEM employee and asking you for a seed phrase just to fix some bug, this risk is zero. And yeah, we think it's contributing to security and to the well-being of people we provide our technology to.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in the past have lost their crypto from that exact same scam. I mean, we hear about it all the time, but I wonder how many people had themselves scammed out of everything and were just too downtrodden or embarrassed to even admit it. So I think there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be some people out there that just never admitted it, and it's going to go to be unknown. And these scammers are going to get away with it. But I have to agree with you, like with the mnemonic phrases. I mean, they're great, and some people love them. That's why you guys did it. But I see moving forward that people will probably do this, and as far as like just keeping it on a card, because that's what people are used to. I also think that there's a way that things should be, and there's a way that things are gonna be. And the way that things should be is we should have as much protection as possible, and we should self-custody and everything else. Unfortunately, people are lazy, and they will continue to keep people on or things on exchanges until the next exchange goes down. And only the ones that listen and do the cold storage are the ones to be protected. I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Generally, people are lazy, and ask yourself how many people store their seed phrase properly. I hope these teamed viewers are not among those who take a photo of the seed phrase and upload it to a cloud storage or just keep it on the phone. And that is why we thought that, like, to keep a secret, to quote George Orwell, to keep a secret, you need to keep it from yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's very tough to do those things. This will be the last one, and we'll get out of here. Staking. And this is one of the reasons why, like, I'm still using a lot for the ledger, because the ledger allows me to stake. Now, I know that there are functionalities, especially with Wallet Connect, but how's everything going with the staking and moving in that direction, just to stake directly from TANGEM?
Yeah, native staking is going to be introduced in December or January, depending on the load of work our developers have. But they're working on that already. Okay.
December. Well, that's today.
Yeah.
It's December 1st. Let's get it going. Come on, Nikita. Just kidding.
Exactly.
Okay.
December or January.
December or January. All right. Well, that's how it goes. Expect January, everybody. All right. So everybody, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Nikita, thanks for stopping by and answering the questions with me, because some I didn't know. But everybody, if you like today's video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. Links are in the description. And that's it for today. So thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend.